A meeting of this kind, which is not a regularly scheduled council meeting, is virtually unprecedented in the recent history of this community. We've asked you to join with us this evening just to make you aware of some of the rather serious financial issues that are facing us as a community. So I'd like to thank you for taking your time out to be with us tonight to discuss the future of North Arlington. And that is what this meeting is intended to be, a discussion of the future. We will discuss our financial situation shortly. However, at the completion and conclusion of our presentation, we want to open up the floor to hear your suggestions and to feel the pulse of the community. As your mayor, I made a promise to myself and to you to be accountable, accessible, and open to different points of view. Leadership understands this basic principle. To lead, you must be able to learn as well as to listen. The purpose of tonight is to begin a dialogue with you, the people, the taxpayers. The issues facing this community are very wide and deep. These challenges are complex and demand open exchanges, such as tonight, so that a consensus can be constructed as to which path makes the most sense for our community. I ran for this office on a very specific platform. I was gratified by the support of that platform and my selection as your mayor last November. Since assuming that office some 100 days ago, I have focused on 3 areas that demand the most attention. First is the NCAP agreement as negotiated and as signed and executed by the previous administration. Secondly is the rising cost of government and how to control expenditures as well as our municipal debt. And thirdly, the construction of the 2007-2008 municipal budget. The first order of business was to replace legal counsel and find representation that would best reflect the sentiments of this community as well as the governing body. The selection of Mr. Anthony D'Elia as the borough attorney and Mr. Robert McGowan as special counsel for redevelopment matters were wise choices in my opinion. Upon taking office, I was served with a lawsuit by NCAP, the developer, seeking immediate application of eminent domain seizure and the construction of low-income housing. In addition, NCAP was far behind on property taxes that they owed to this community, while they also filed a suit seeking drastic reductions in their current property assessments. Thanks to the work of our legal team, we have successfully voided the NCAP agreement and have secured all past due taxes owed by NCAP, which amounted to nearly $700,000. We have built strong support in the media, as the Bergen Record of Hackensack has supported our position as it applies to NCAP, and they further support our state application for extraordinary aid. We deserve this aid and should not be held hostage by the sins of that previous administration that believed by giving this developer a blank check was somehow a good idea. Neither myself nor the public at large believes this to be true. While NCAP will ultimately be resolved as a legal battle, we as a governing body have made a strong case in the area of public opinion as well as public policy. My goal is to avoid disagreement, start anew, and solicit the opinions of you, the North Arlington homeowner and taxpayer, as to which is the best way to move forward. Tonight, you will be given questionnaires. We'll ask you to complete those questionnaires, providing us with your thoughts and feelings on the subject of redevelopment in this community. I urge you to participate. My belief is that a non-housing component, an alternative to Arlington Valley, makes the most sense. North Arlington does not support eminent domain, and neither do I. North Arlington does not support low-income housing. North Arlington does not want the added costs of new schools, new roads, more employees, and the transformation of this community into an urban extension of Hudson County. Secondly, I knew it was important to address the costs of government here in North Arlington from both our schools and the municipality. Between both of these operations, the cost of local government has swelled to over $40 million. While the cost continues to increase at a record pace, the revenues that supported this growth are dwindling. Host fees, which have long been the revenue staple of accepting solid waste, is now ending forever. This depletion of fees leaves a wide financial gap between expenditures and revenues. Compounding that with NCAP, and you find yourself shifting from one outside revenue to another. But in the case of NCAP, there are strings attached that few people support. Several weeks ago, I sent a letter to homeowners detailing my concerns that related to the proposed municipal school budget. While I took no formal position, my concerns still remain the same. We need to find ways to shrink the growth and not expect the homeowner to blindly approve endless tax increases year after year. Make no mistake that I have no intention to take a hatchet to public education or the school budget. Teachers, parents, and students will not be handed a bare-bones budget that does not fulfill the promise of effective learning. I am prepared as an educator and former school trustee to work with the Board of Education to find common ground. Local government must be cooperative and not confrontational. The election is now over, and you, the people, have spoken. We all have an obligation to work together and do what's best for both students and taxpayers. A balance can be found. That is the balance that I seek as your mayor. Finally, the municipal operation here in North Arlington is being reduced. This year's operating budget has been reduced by 4% from last year, and our debt service continues to decrease. We're reducing the size of local government and paying down the debt that we've assumed. While this is just a start, it is the right path to fiscal independence and credibility. Through refinancing and lobbying Trenton for help, we can get out of this dilemma with a modest impact on property taxes. Given the hand I was dealt, this is the only solution given the circumstances right now. In essence, there very well may be a municipal tax increase. The size of that increase remains in the hands of Governor Corzine and our legislative team in Trenton, if they are willing to fight for the state aid that we need and deserve. Getting out of the NCAP deal is negotiated, making the tough decisions on spending, and getting this financial house in order is my goal. Nothing else can be achieved, or much less considered, until these issues are resolved. The Borough of North Arlington's budget for 2007 is $17,993,408.72. You'll see that's a decrease, ladies and gentlemen, of $764,426.99 from last year. The introduced budget includes debt service appropriations based upon the state of New Jersey approving our borough restructuring plan. Where do your tax dollars go? Well, 59.1% goes to the Board of Education, which is the biggest expenditure in any community, at least in this community. 59.1% for Board of Education, 31.5% for municipal government operations, and 9.4% gets shifted up to the County of Bergen that we contribute for county taxation, county business operations. Where do our tax dollars come from? Well, as you can see, 82% of the tax dollars to run this community come from residential property. That's you and I. I want you all to keep in mind that I pay the taxes too. I sent my check out the other day. From apartments, we get approximately 5%. From commercial, it's very small. Industrial, about 1%. Commercial, about 9%. And only about 1% is vacant. So we have an excellent tax collection rate here in the community. And always keep in mind that this is the most profound impact on your tax dollars.